Actor Stephen Tompkinson has revealed he's unemployed and has had work axed since he was charged with GBH, a court has heard. Tompkinson is accused of punching Carl Poole outside the home he shares with his partner and her child after confronting him and a friend over the noise they were making, a court has heard. Mr. Poole suffered brain injuries after falling to the floor and hitting his head in the alleged incident on May 30, 2021, the court was told. Tompkinson, best known for playing the title role in the TV crime drama DCI Banks and for starring in ITV drama Wild at Heart, has been charged with inflicting grievous bodily harm. Tompkinson denies the charge. Giving evidence at Newcastle Crown Court today, Tompkinson revealed he was not working at the moment and that booked jobs had been axed as a result of the case. The Chronicle Live reports that when asked if having this case hanging over him has affected his ability to work, he replied, "Very much so, yes." Asked if he needs to work, he said, "Yes, absolutely." He added, "In no way trying to compare me situation with the injury Carl suffered, they don't compare. I've had situations taken away from me that were in place. I've been told while this is hanging over me any association is put on hold." When arrested by police, Tompkinson told officers he acted in self-defense and only pushed Mr. Poole after he became aggressive and came towards him. He told the court today that it would be career suicide to do something as outrageous as assault someone. He said, "Any member of the public is potentially a member of your audience and you have to treat them with respect at all times." After Ballykiss Angel, my father said, "You've been invited into people's living rooms and you must always remember that and treat them with respect. It would be career suicide to do something as outrageous as assault someone, particularly in these times when mobile phones and doorbell cameras are everywhere. You have a great responsibility outside of work to keep up a good impression." Tompkinson also told the court that the two men had been quite heavily intoxicated when they approached his house. "It seemed to me they were the very definition of drunk and disorderly. They were making a lot of noise and could barely stand up." He added, "During that time we had all been through a lockdown and I think as a society we became a little more mindful of one another, more appreciative, and this seemed to flout any degree of respect for those times. They had no respect for themselves," he told the court. The actor went on to describe how, on the morning in question, he had been at home with his partner and her 7-year-old child when he became aware of the two men. He told the court that Andrew fell on top of Carl and that the former had tried to drag the latter up by supporting him under the arms, but that he had fallen back down on his head. They both thought that was hilarious. He was making no attempt to break his fall, he told jurors. He also told the court that, after seeing the men fall over for the third or fourth time and seeing a bottle of alcohol, he decided to call the police as they were causing damage to themselves and looked like they needed assistance getting home. Tompkinson went on to explain how he had wanted to take the bottle off them as he didn't want it to break on his drive. Asked if he was angry with them, he then said, "There was a degree of angriness in there. It was a horrible situation and I didn't want the rest of the household to be greeted by that. More than anything, I was disappointed." Tompkinson also insisted he had no desire to hurt the men and that it had been a very frightening situation. Asked if he had any desire to hurt them at that point, he replied, "Not at all." He also told the court that when he called the police, Poole's friend Andrew Hall responded by saying, "Call who you effing like, I'm a social worker." Tompkinson added, "I was absolutely dazzled by that. It was not what I was expecting to hear, especially as someone was going out of their way to be antisocial." He added, "It was a very frightening situation. They were both looking very intently at me. Andrew started walking towards me and he made a head-butting gesture with the familiar 'come on then.' He led with his head coming towards me. I was able to take one step back with my right foot and helped him on his way." Tompkinson then told the court he put his hands on him and Hall ended up on all fours. He went on to claim that he had intended to stop the men rather than to hurt them. "I could see out of the periphery of my left eye Carl was moving towards me," Tompkinson said. "I didn't want to hurt him, I wanted to stop him and change his mind about coming towards me and coming further on to my property. My right arm came over and contacted with the left-hand side of Carl's face with an open palm, in a pushing movement into Carl's face." Quizzed on why he had decided to push him, he responded, "I wanted to stop him coming towards me and coming towards my driveway. I was suddenly aware I had made myself extremely vulnerable. It stopped him in his tracks, which was the intention. I wanted him to change his mind." Tompkinson also told the court that Poole did not fall in the direction of his push. "I did make contact with his face, which was not enough to knock a sober man off his feet," he said. "It was decent enough contact, enough to grab your attention. His forward momentum was meeting my forward momentum. My intention was to demonstrate a stopping motion, but with his unsteadiness his face certainly met my palm." He went on to say that, after the incident, he assumed Poole had passed out into a very deep sleep and did not think he had suffered a head injury. The actor described how he had ventured back inside only to hear Hall shouting, "You've killed him, as well as you've hit him, you've punched him and you've pushed him." He told the court, "I was slightly concerned for Carl. He didn't seem to have moved. I was not sure how much time had elapsed, so I went back outside. He was snoring very loudly. I just assumed he had finally given into the stupor he was in and passed out into a very deep sleep." The trial continues.